Hi, my name is Ethan Landis, and I am the CEO and founder of Landis Architects Builders. We were founded in 1990 in the depths of the recession, and out of crisis came opportunity. I came into this field in a very organic way. Starting, all the way back in high school, I loved designing and building furniture as one of my special projects in high school and in some summertime periods of time. And then I also had three different family-based renovations up in Vermont that also taught me a lot. And working with my brother Chris, they were particularly interesting to figure out how complicated remodeling and construction can be. And so those really led me into the comfort zone. And then in 1986, I started buying and renovating buildings, two or three with my father actually. And that was a terrific opportunity for me to really work with a bunch of new people and figure out how interesting but complex remodeling is, and then also the design aspects of it, starting quite basically. In the beginning, I think things were very simple. And then in 1990, in the Great Recession, my brother and I both found ourselves having to make substantive career changes or evolutions, and we joined together. He is a licensed architect and myself with a lot of business background and passion for building science. And we started our design build firm right out of the gates as a true architect-inspired, architecture-led design build firm. We do not have a signature look on purpose. We have worked in many old homes, and we are really not exclusively, but almost exclusively a design build remodeling firm. So we're working with existing homes, putting on additions, whole house remodels, dig downs, basement expansions, pop-ups, that type of thing. We deal with a fair amount of historic property also. And so as life has served up our industry, we have chosen to be much more or less aesthetic driven in terms of our aesthetic. We love to get to know the clients, their needs, as well as what their home says, because we're usually working with a lot of existing architecture. So we have chosen not to have an aesthetic that has branded us, and instead, we're a very client-centric architecture firm that does not want to try to put our values or opinions or preferences on top of the client unless they ask for them. Of course, there are occasionally we have clients who really want us to lead them, and then it's usually informed by the home. And while there may be a modern addition on a historic home or a very historic addition on a historic home, they tend to be very guided by the practical and the existing architecture that's there. Going back 20 years, I've been very involved with the green building movement and green building codes here in Washington, D.C., and invested a fair amount of time on that. Was on the Green Building Council here in Washington, D.C., as well as an active member of the USGBC, the Green Building, the organization that is really sort of the grandfather of green building technology and building codes. And that's always been a real passion of mine, but I would say it has evolved over the years. And now I see green building, sustainability, durability, while they can be buzzwords, for me, what they are is they're inherent in really good architectural design and construction techniques and best practices. For us, we've built them into who we are. They're not a checklist or add-ons that we can say to the client, if you'd like this, it's this much more. They're things that we do really somewhat by necessity, but sometimes because we just think they're the best way to do something. And some of them are of course, built into the building code, which has gotten increasingly effective at sustainability. But I would say also that green building for us is when you have great design, when you're building with timeless materials and timeless architectural details, the projects both will hold up well, as well as the clients that we build them for and or the next owner of the home won't tear them out and redo them because they're really built well and they're beautiful. And for us, that's the most sustainable architecture there is, because there's a huge amount of embodied energy in any remodeling work. And if you tear it out 10 years later by necessity, or because it's really out of vogue, or it's just eccentric, then you've lost all that energy, and that's inherently not sustainable or green. The biggest trend we continue to see is switching away from fossil fuels and having all electrical powered homes, so that electricity obviously can be increasingly produced by renewable resources. And so if you have an all electric home or a highly electrified home, then in the future you can help choose, but hopefully society will be producing more and more electricity in a sustainable, renewable fashion. So that's really good. We also want electricity to be as comfortable, to be as effective, to be as beautiful, and to offer as many needs really as people have. And so we're finding that like electric fireplaces are getting increasingly beautiful. Electric water heating is very effective. Electric heat pump based heating and cooling, very effective. And there's some new interesting technology that has been in Europe for a while, but is coming to America, and we're very excited to embrace that. So the world of electrification is probably the biggest thing. The other part is having a very tight house. Most homes, particularly old homes, the air turnover in a home is remarkably high. An existing older home with older windows, not much insulation in it, the air turnover inside that house may be 1 or 2 times every hour, which when you think about it is kind of mind-blowing. And so when we do a major renovation or build a new home, we want it to be very tight. And so you have this indoor air that doesn't turn over as much. So you still have to mechanically ventilate, you have to bring in fresh air, you have to manage the air, but in doing that, you can use a lot less energy and still have great indoor air quality. So those are all goals of ours. My most overarching advice is to don't go out there and start it yourself from day one. Make sure you work with an apprentice inside of a reasonably sophisticated company to start with. That the learning curve is really huge on the front end, and working for a sophisticated company that's been around for a long time and has grown is a great starting place, because learning their systems, their best practices, and the reasons for their failures is really, really helpful. Our industry has gotten so much more complex and sophisticated since I jumped into the business 36 years ago. When I started, things were remarkably simple comparatively. There was only 4 different types of cover plates for electrical devices, for example. Now there are hundreds, and the versatility or the diversification within our industry, just in materials, but also with building codes and marketing and the labor laws and all the different things that you have to know to run a business, is a little overwhelming. So learn inside of a good company for a couple years, 5, 10 years, and then consider starting your own, or helping another company grow as an entrepreneur may be as rewarding or more rewarding than starting your own business. We have an electrical department and a plumbing division, both led by master mechanics. And then we have maybe 12 or 13 lead carpenters, 4 project managers, 7 or 8, 9 full-time people in design. And so we have a very diverse company with all the different departments run by directors who are responsible for several people underneath them, including permitting. And so we like to be a very full service company. So when a client comes in the door and they have X, Y, or Z project, we can take them all the way through to moving them back into their home with a really beautiful home that is completely done, and that can even include decorating inside. I'm less than 2 years away from retiring, and our company is in the relatively early steps of performing what will be a second generation ownership transition. And I have two of my nephews that work in the company, Kyle and Ryan Landis, and we're really excited by what it takes to have a successful second generation transition within a company like ours in our industry. Obviously, this happens all the time across our industry, and it's not anything really unique by any means, but doing it well and making sure our entire company understands what is going to happen and how it's going to happen and how it may impact them, and inviting their feedback and trying to build in best practices and time to address concerns or fears from people is an important part of what will happen. And I'm very excited about it because both my brother and I want to keep the business in our name and in our family. And that is maybe many people's dream out there, but a lot of businesses don't. And I would say we're also particularly delighted to not be considering the mergers and acquisition world, which unfortunately I think often doesn't do as much service for smaller companies, younger companies as it could. I was asked a question at a trade fair a couple years ago. What do I like the most about my business or running a business? And it is not the construction. It's not the design. It's not finding new clients, although I enjoy all those things. It is finding and talking with, encouraging and hiring new talent, and then working with the people that work for me in my company to help them achieve the greatest professional success they can, and to decide, do you really love what you're doing? And if so, how can you grow and achieve your greatest potential within our industry or the part of the industry they work in? Because that to me gives me the highest level of satisfaction. I feel like I get the most reward for the investment, because your people are obviously the most important part of your business, no matter what you're doing, and they can help you achieve so much more than you can by yourself.